Okay, what's good, YouTube? I have a story from Reddit. I believe it's from someone called World Building Rats. It's called Code Red. Black choppers flew high in the sky. Their fans buzzed loudly, spinning around violently, making their way towards the base. Set up by the government near a mountain. The sun was drowning behind the mountain in the distance. Its streaks of red and orange shone brightly through the clouds, shedding a warm orange sunlight onto the ground. I was seated at the chair in the front yard. My back leaned against the backrest, a glass of water in hand. Then my cell phone lit up and vibrated and shook violently on the table seated before me. Alert, a robotic voice said, "Code Red, repeat, Code Red." I paused. My cell phone continued to vibrate and shake violently. "This is not a test," it said. "Repeat, this is not a test." "Here we go again," I thought to myself. "This is an emergency," it continued. "Remain indoors, board up the windows, and lock the doors immediately. Kindly and patiently wait until further notice." Without a second thought, I went inside, shut and locked the doors, and boarded up the windows. And then an hour had passed by. A loud single knock came on the door. "Clark," I heard a voice say. "Who's there?" I asked. "Marcus," the voice said. "It's Marcus, Clark." Why are you outside?" I said. "This is completely against the rules, you know." "I know," Marcus said. "I need your help, Clark." "No," I said, "I can't. I'm sorry." "Clark," I heard another voice say. It was Lucas. "Come on." "No," I said, "I don't want to." In the end, both Marcus and Lucas went along with their plan. As for me, I was indoors the whole time. You'll face the consequences of your actions for violating the rules. A day had passed by and I snuck out to the base set up by the government in the mountains. I was in the forest. The trees stood tall. Branches reached out to the sky. Their trunks were both thick and thin. The roots spread out like a virus across the ground. I walked past the sign hanging on a tree with "Keep Out Private Property" written on it. And then all noises vanished in the thin air, but for my footsteps and the grasses rustling under my foot, and the tree leaves along with their branches waving as the winds howled loudly in the air. For a brief moment, not a single word came out of my mouth. Barbed wire fences made me look like a puppy looking at my owner. They towered over me, circling military HQ in the center, right next to the barracks, along with a talk, and went on forever in the distance. Runways on the ground had planes parked on it. Then sweat popped up in my forehead, slowly slipping down my eyebrows onto my face. "Are you sure about this?" I asked myself in thought. "I mean, we can just go back." Sighing, I went along with my plan. A warning sign hung on the barbed wire fences, with "No trespassing" written on it. Soldiers in green and pink uniforms marched on the runway. They lined up per 10 people. Sir, yes, sir, I heard multiple voices of men say loudly at the same time. Then my phone vibrated. I received a series of text messages from Marcus and Lucas. I left them unread at the time. Clark, Marcus' text message read, I think they're following me. There's a black van parked outside of my house. Another message from Marcus read, I've been seeing the black van everywhere, watching me in the distance. The message above followed by Lucas. He said, he's getting followed too. I've never told my parents about this. Please come pick up our calls. We're half scared to death. When I went home, I read the messages and responded. Then I tried dialing their numbers. The calls went through voicemails. My messages were left unread too. I decided to confront them at work the next day. Guys, I said, what's going on? I didn't notice the changes at first, but the purple bags under Marcus's eyes told me he lacked sleep. Lucas looked thin too, as if he hadn't been eating. What? Lucas said. Marcus looked at Lucas. Yeah, what? I gestured a stop sign to Marcus. Lucas, come on. You look like you haven't been eating. Like, tell me what's going on. I interrupted him. What's with these text messages too? I showed them the messages they'd sent me a day prior. It's nothing, Lucas said. Yeah, we're fine, Marcus said. And then Lucas's eyes suddenly lit up, but then Marcus suddenly whispered to his ear, and Lucas listened without saying a word. Lucas rubbed the back of his head. Yeah, right, he said, looking down. I stretched my hand toward them, but sorry, Marcus interrupted me. I think I've got to go now. Luke, I said. Yeah, me too, Lucas said. Sorry, Clark. Fast forward a few days later. Marcus mysteriously vanished. The police still on the lookout for him. Missing posters hung on the street lamps, walls, and so on. His whereabouts remain unknown even till this day. Lucas, I'd said, what's wrong? Why do you look so pale? Lucas didn't answer. Instead, he looked down at the ground, tapping his fingers. Then, he shook his head from side to side. I'm fine, he said. He lied. He totally wasn't fine at all. In fact, he looked so much worse compared to a few days ago. Now he looked thin, pale, gaunt, as if he saw a ghost. Where's Marcus? I asked. What's going on? I'm confused. Lucas slowly walked away without saying a word. I let him go as he slowly vanished from view. The next day, a heavy loaded dump truck drove past my house on the road. Its engine roared and left a trail of smoke behind. Every now and then, I'd see one or more of those trucks headed to the base set up by the government. Nobody knows why they're headed there. By then, I started to notice something too. Everywhere I go, there'd be a black van parked on the streets. I was at home one time, seated in the chair on the balcony, looking down at the streets. Black van was parked outside my house. Coincidence? I think not. I pointed at the van. "Hey!" I shouted loudly. Suddenly the van's engine started, and then it drove away. Its tires screeched loudly and left tire marks on the roads. "Hey!" I yelled out loud. And then I received a text message from an unknown number. "Do not directly make eye contact with it. Remain indoors, lock the doors, and board up the windows. This will be your first and last warning." I closed my phone without responding. For the past 3 days, I've remained inside my home. Black vans, about 10 of them, were now parked outside my house. When I went to purchase food at the supermarket, I'd realized I made a serious mistake, a very, very terrible mistake. Soldiers, or rather, a special ops team blocked off the exit. They wore green and pink uniforms with garrison caps, gas masks covering their face. They marched on the streets, guns in their hands. Then someone blocked my eyes with their hands. They forcibly put my hands behind my back. And then they forcibly opened my mouth and made me gulp a pill down my throat. "Who are you?" I mumbled. By then, I was losing my consciousness. I began to weaken. Headaches started to kick in. My legs were getting worn out from standing and for struggling to free myself too. I don't remember what had happened, but I felt like I was being dragged. When I opened my eyes, I found myself inside a van with soldiers wearing gas masks seated beside me. Then once again, I fainted. I woke up to find myself in a bedroom, lying on a king-sized bed, tucked under a soft, comfortable blanket. A drawer sat beneath the bed, with a lamp as well as a 90s telephone on top of it. As I got out of bed, I looked at my hands. Pale, cold, and dry. "Where am I thought. Someone knocked on the door. "Clark?" A voice said. It was Marcus's voice. "Hello." "Marcus," I said. "Hello, is that you?" "Clark, open the door." Lucas knocked. And then the telephone rang loudly beside me. I picked it up. Then I answered the call. "Hello," I said. "Sir," the caller said. It was a male's voice. Calm, neutral, and a serious tone, he let out a deep breath. "Where am I? What's happening?" I asked him. Remain calm. I began gasping for air as if I was out of breath. "Do not directly make eye contact with it," the caller said. "If you hear your friends knock on the door, do not answer it." "But I'm afraid I already did, sir," I said. I'd answered the door, and then the operator hung up on me.